And you can't be nice about that. You can't be like, look, I disagree with you, but I love you. And I think we should be able to talk this through. She's not going to meet you with love. She does not have love in her heart. She has hate. She is a hateful, spiteful, bigoted person who will not rest. And this is going to be her until her dying days. Unless someone cleans up the mold. I don't know which will come first. I don't know if y'all saw, but Emma Watson did an interview on a very popular podcast and was asked about a variety of topics. Some clips from that podcast made the rounds on the internet, and one of the ones that was very viral was Emma Watson talking about J.K. Rowling, and she was asked, obviously, how do you feel about J.K. Rowling, despite the fact that you very, very strongly disagree with her and her takes on trans people, although trans people are never mentioned and never expressly spoken about in the podcast itself. It's very clear what they're talking about when she brings up J.K. And she says that, she can still love someone and she can still have love in their heart and still want to have, conversations with them and discuss these issues. And that, basically saying insofar as my door is always open, I have to obviously, say part of me will always cherish her. I will always have love for her. She's done so much, especially writing a character that has become so treasured for so many people around the world and allowing me to play and portray that character. And even if we do have a fundamental disagreement or we disagree on a couple things, I still think we should be able to have a dialogue and very, very diplomatic and friendly and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people, myself included, were upset about it because mostly, again, I think the memes were totally on point. The people who were posting things that were like, pineapple and pizza is a disagreement. Yeah, I can be friends with somebody who doesn't like my taste of food or music, right? Stuff of that nature. You can agree to disagree or just disagree wholeheartedly, but those are things that are obviously they're up for debate, right? You can discuss whether or not you enjoy Pink Floyd versus David Bowie versus who's better between them and Jay-Z, things like that. Sure, you have spirited debates. Fundamental human rights are not up for debate, right? That's not something in which it's a light disagreement. And when it applies to anybody, you can't just say on one end, well, I mean, we do have our disagreements, but I still love them and have love in my heart for them and stuff of that nature. When that disagreement is whether or not fundamentally J.K. Rowling wants to exterminate trans people from the earth. Like, she is not only actively working to materially do everything she can to, again, damage, hurt, or make lives harder for a minority group. That is what she puts a lot of her funding and money towards. But she is using every single moment she is online or has a platform or a microphone is gifted to her to speak and spread lies and propaganda about trans people that will materially hurt them. So she is not only someone who has a slight disagreement about whether or not someone should have, I don't know, again, health care, but she's someone who actively works to, again, target and destroy trans people. She is one of the worst, if not maybe the queen of the TERFs. I don't think that's a mild disagreement. I think that's something fundamentally that you are at odds with. You can be diplomatic about it. I'm not telling anybody, especially if they are super rich, famous, and popular, if they are in front of a microphone, that they have to be there and use strong language like I would to describe J.K. Rowling. But you could definitely say something along the lines of, while I was given an incredible opportunity, and I have always, cherished my memories of working on that show, especially with my coworkers, Daniel Radcliffe, etc. We are at odds on a very, very crucial thing that I do not believe is a debate. I do not believe is something that I can simply dictate as a conversation. We are talking about fundamental human rights and whether or not someone agrees that they should be universal. And I disagree. I think human rights should be universal rights, and that applies to trans people. And as a result of that, unfortunately, we are at an odds. And if you just left it there and you had gotten the response you've gotten, which is, guess what? Emma did not do that. She was very, very diplomatic. She was very kind, said nothing but nice things. And still, J.K. Rowling decided to piss all over her. Like, she not only immediately ended up tweeting and quote tweeting this sketch where someone was making fun of Emma Watson, and she was like, more of this. And now she has released this enormous fucking essay that's like this long, way too much text. Ain't reading that. Free Palestine, trans rights, or human rights. All I gotta say. But yeah, the whole thing goes into great detail about how effectively evil and corrupt and malicious people like Emma Watson are. She is not meeting Emma Watson because guess what? And this goes to all centrist libs, okay? This goes for everyone who thinks like, hey, by the way, we can win against these people if we show them grace and love when they are actively trying to, again, eradicate or exterminate entire groups. You cannot meet fascism with love. You can't. It doesn't work. It's never worked historically, and it won't work here. And this is such a great example of that because she is not meeting you halfway. If you say, I still love her and I will always love her, even if we have a disagreement or something that I feel warrants more discussion and debate, and my door will always be open for her. In the other end, you're going to get someone who's saying, you are trying to promote the wanton destruction of women. You are not a feminist. You, in fact, are allowing men into women's spaces. You are fine with the sexual assault of women. You are a monster. Because that's who she is. J.K. Rowling is a monster. She's a Holocaust denier. She's a bigot. She has no interest in playing nice with anybody. She is actively working to exterminate trans people. That's her project. She doesn't want to sit down and have a Chardonnay or perhaps some brunch and discuss issues. She doesn't want to sit there and be like, so what is your opinion on this topic? I, for one, in good faith, would like to learn from you, Emma. Teach me. No. She has had her brain so warped, either by the black mold or just by bigotry and hatred, that she's gotten to a point now where she is willing to do anything within her own power and capacity. As a billionaire, by the way, she has a lot of power. She has a fuck ton of it. She wants to do everything she can to make trans kids' lives scarier. Every single day. That's what she does from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to sleep. Every day she picks up her phone and just spends all day. And that's why they're rapists. You should feel nothing of shame if you want to take photos of them in the bathroom. Oh, I for one will not cry any tears if you were to punch them in the knickers. Things like that. That's what she does all day. She's all day on her phone. Blah, 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 putting all that fucking vile shit out there. And you can't be nice about that. You can't be like, look, I disagree with you, but I love you. And I think we should be able to talk this through. She's not going to meet you with love. She does not have love in her heart. She has hate. She is a hateful, spiteful, bigoted person who will not rest. And this is going to be her until her dying days. Unless someone cleans up the mold. I don't know which will come first. But most likely that's just where it's ending up. J.K. Rowling is taking aim once again at Harry Potter actor Emma Watson amid their ongoing rift. There's one-sided rift, by the way. Again, because the rift is J.K. Rowling. You have betrayed me. You have betrayed all of us. You are truly the scum and vile and villainy. That's coming from one end. The other end is Emma Watson being like, I love her. I deeply respect her. I can't believe the incredible things that she's brought into the world. And it's unfortunate that we have a disagreement, but my door will always be open. And I think that's important, that more people should be able to have talks and conversations about these kind of things. And that's why I will always greet everyone who especially someone as important. And again, seminal as her, with love. And love is so important. I mean, in these day and ages, the one thing I think everyone needs more of is love. That's the two sides going down. That's the disagreement. The author wrote in a new post on X that Watson has so little experience in real life, she's ignorant of how ignorant she is, claiming that she once got a letter from Watson that allegedly showed sympathy towards the public backlash Rowling was enduring for sharing views in the trans community, and Watson had already publicly disagreed with. She's throwing you under the bus! You tried to be kind. And she's like, oh yeah? You don't know this, but she actually reached out to me when everyone was like, you're a bigot. And she was like, I'm really sad that's happening to you. And she might even not be the savior that all of you think she is. She is terrible. Everyone should hate her. That's how you're being met. Watson joined Harry Potter co-stars like Daniel Radcliffe by publicly opposing Rowling, sharing in a statement, "Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are." In her new post, Rowling said it was completely fine for Watson and Radcliffe to have opinions that do not align with her own. She explained, "I'm not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking in with the boss I had when I was 21 for opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are legally protected, and I wouldn't want to see any of them threatened with loss of work or violence or death because of them. However, Emma and Dan in particular have both made it clear over the last years that they think our former professional association gives them a particular right, nay, obligation, to critique me and my views in public. Years after they finished acting in Potter, they continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. I invented wizardry." Watson and Rowling's rip became a viral talking point this month after Watson spoke on the matter on the recent episode On Purpose with Jay Shetty. Rowling wrote in an ex-post that she'd always turned down requests to comment on Watson in the past because I didn't want her to be hounded as a result of anything I said. That's now changed given Watson's interview with Jay Shetty, in which Watson said that she can still love her experience on working with Rowling on the Harry Potter movies while disagreeing with Rowling's views on the trans community. How dare you? Are you fucking serious? Look at this. Look at this. Look what you have unleashed. Who has the time? Oh, billionaires. Yeah, billionaires from their fucking literal castles. Billionaires from their castles. Fucking, oh my god, being brain poisoned by black mold to sit there. You feel as though you can be the spokesperson for the world of witches and wizardry? 'Twas me that invented the golden snitch. I invented the muggles. You goddamn muggle. Like, look at this. Who cares? God damn it. Fuck. I ain't reading all that. Free Palestine. Trans rights are human rights. Fucking. Ugh.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons.